Tell me your name, your age if you wish, your occupation, and where you live.
Ronnie Bouch. I'm 65 years old. I live in New York City. I'm a musician.
What's your instrument?
I play the violin.
Tell me a piece of music which has greatly influenced your creative life.
That's a really hard question.
Don't think too hard.
Beethoven's string quartets. Not just one, but every one. Every one I've ever played has profoundly impacted me. And the older I get, the more that they impact me and the more I appreciate what they're all about. The harp quartet, which I had a lesson with one of the great quartet players of the 20th century when I was 18 years old. He was in the Borden quartet, and he had never played the harp quartet before because in Russia in the early 70s, 60s, you were not allowed to play certain Beethoven music because it was too bourgeois. So here's one of the greatest chamber music minds of the 20th century. He stayed up all night before. We were supposed to have a 1-hour master class on the piece. He stayed up the entire night studying this score. He was like a little kid. And the next morning he came. We had a 1-hour lesson, a 2-hour lesson, he went 6 hours with us to work on this piece. To see a musician of that stature, a grown-up who has a worldwide reputation, a great musical mind and an extraordinary violinist, to see the music for this piece, one of the great masterpieces of the literature, for the first time, it was really extraordinary. I mean, I've seen lots of colleagues. It's great to, play a new piece for the first time, but at this stage in my life, it's mostly repeating things, which is also great. But to see a 40 or 50-year-old person who really appreciates it, and probably more than I could ever appreciate it, to see a piece like this for the first time, it was really extraordinary. And I've had several experiences like that in my life, to see people who are mature artists, but who had never experienced a particular piece before.
Tell me what it feels like in performance when things are going very well. What does that feel like?
There was a great interview about 30 years ago in the Sunday Times magazine with Bill Russell, the great basketball star of the Boston Celtics. And in that interview, he described the 7th game of the NBA Finals of the Celtics against the Lakers. And he said, I could never admit this when I was playing, but now, 10 years after my career is over, I can say at the very end of the game, the 7th game, the final game, a winner take all, I didn't care who won or lost. I knew the skill, the capabilities of every single person. I could almost know what was going to happen in the game, what every person was going to do. It was, the whole thing slowed down. It was like in slow motion.
Is that what it feels like in performance?
And I said,
for you?
in performance, that's the closest kind of lay description of what it's like to be in a really successful musical performance, when time slows down and you are able to take in it's a level of multitasking and consciousness that you really can't experience on almost in any other way.
Tell me, what would you like the world to know about music?
I think the world already knows a lot about music. I think that music has the ability to build community. I've spent a lot of my career using music to build communities. Music can be very personal, but it is also, I mean, that's one of the great things about music, is that it is at once very personal. It can be, everybody has different tastes and different ideas and different likes and dislikes, but at the same time, it has an incredible ability to bring people together. A shared musical idea, a shared musical statement, a shared song is one of the most powerful things in the world. And if you've ever been to a concert, which I'm sure lots of people have, and felt, whether it's a classical concert or a rock and roll concert or a folk music concert, the power of a shared song to really create powerful emotions is incredible.
Thank you so much for sharing your creative imperative.
You're welcome.